about 38 degrees outside. And anytime I rake up the leaves and stuff like that, I always see bees coming in to collect. I don't know if it's moisture, because the dark color warms things up faster, or if there's some sort of minerals or something that's in the soil or in the dirt or what. But if anybody out there knows, please share any thoughts or ideas. I even see them on the dry leaves. See them flying around. There's one right here where my finger shadow is. Another one right here. It's just going to the soil here. There Grace. They're out flying. It's 38 degrees out. My question here. This is just a bucket that I sit on to watch the hives, but the bees are just getting water wherever they can find it. Some going down on the bottom edges too. Again, there's no sugar syrup, that's just water from rain. They're just looking for moisture. It's about 12:30. Put a little bit of pollen substitute out, and it looks like their needs and their priorities right now is to gather water. There may be some other pollens out there. If there's natural pollen, then they don't prefer to go to that pollen substitute, but I think I'd put it out with the recent freeze. But maybe things are blooming again. A lot more bees getting water from that bucket that I sit on. So behind our hives we have this maple. This is usually the first natural pollen of the year. If it's not dandelion, it's starting to swell up quite a bit. Hard to tell if they're actually opening yet. Maybe that'd be easier to see on the video. It's kind of hard to see on the small screen we got here. Looks like they're close though, if they're not opening now. I don't see any bees up there. Kind of lucky because we've got two really large ones right next to each other. And those are right by our hives. Another interesting thing, they're kind of getting down in that bag to get moisture or maybe minerals from the leaves or something. I'm not sure. Quite a few bees on this bag. And maybe it's just that red bow that's attracting them. Maybe confusing it with a flower or something. A little different story on the pollen substitute. I'm going to be getting into it a lot more today. It's a little warmer today than yesterday though. It's about 55 degrees here. A lot of activity out here today. I'm going to go ahead and count the mites currently, and then probably do OA treatment here today. Then I'll be able to count the drop. Oh, I see a small hive beetle. There's a small hive beetle right here. And a sort of little winged ant as well. There's another small hive beetle, so that's two small hive beetles. This looks a lot like wax moth frass too, so when we get into there we'll need to look near the middle for that. Hive 1 has no mites but small hive beetles, and I did just see this. I was just pointing with this, but this is a maple that fell out of the tree. You can see it's starting to bloom, so maple pollen is going to be popping off here pretty soon. Here's another little cluster. It's probably from the tip of a branch. Not quite open yet, but it's going to be warm, a little bit rainy. The next 10 days there isn't supposed to be anything below freezing. It will be in the 30s a little bit, but the high 30s. This is hive 2. looking through these trays again. Hive 1 didn't have any, and this is Hive 2, and there's 5. 3. Seeing some drop pollen at the entry there, just on the inside. Hive 3, just doing a recount, and it has 15. Trying to zoom in on a mite here that may be somewhat questionable, but it looks like it's not fully formed yet. So it's not very dark. It's right there floating on the surface. Just regular mite there. These girls are not sure if they're pulling the propolis or if they're putting it on, but they're working on that entrance. Their legs are covered in propolis, so they may be harvesting that off as it's warming up. This is Hive 4. Hive 4 has 12 mites after a recount. A lot of different interesting insects in here. Actually, the small hive beetles, and then the mites. Small hive beetle. You can see clumps of pollen that have fallen. A lot of clumps of pollen through here. Small hive beetle, a bee leg, mite. There's that millipede. Sort of ant. How much of these really small gnats or flies in there? Not sure what those are. And then somehow a sow bug, roly-poly. You can see them on the inside working too. Oh, so they're not here working. Oh, she's pulling it off or putting it on. Hasn't really changed much. Checking a nuke 1. There's a mite right here. 1, 2, there's 2 total. So I got 2 mites in there, and I have 1 small hive beetle over here. Interesting little, sort of little fly right there too. And then nuke 2. A little moldy over here, so they're definitely uncapping honey on the right side of that hive. So when it gets thick like that and moldy, definitely filter this off, but it gets hard to see the mites unless they're stuck right on top. I cannot see any mites. I do see a small hive beetle. 1. 2, 3. 3 small hive beetles. Another one, there's little insects here. Another one there. There's another one right there. Another one there. Not sure what those are. That's all. And I don't know if I said the date or not, but it is January 15th. January 15th, it's about 12:10, a little after noon. There's a lot of pollen coming in. Yeah, same thing. So, all of this stuff, it looks like propolis. And I'm not sure if it's from them opening this hole back up. There's another bee out there working on that one. A lot of pollen bringing in too, but we do have pollen substitute out there, but actually those bees have pollen all over the hairs on their body. We can get over here. A lot of pollen coming in. Their upper entrance. Looks like they're chewing the wood out of the side there so they can come out the edge. This is hive 3. So sometimes when they squeeze through there, they can possibly drop their pollen. Sometimes it happens, not always. Sometimes I see drop pollen out front and outside on the ground too, so I'm not sure if they ever get contaminated pollen, they just throw it out, but that pollen looks very light color. Upper entrance there. And hive 1, this is our heaviest hive. They're just getting some water off the top right now. Yeah, looking at all that, it's like propolis from the upper entrance. Interesting too, I noticed a lot on this hive they use propolis on the outside, so there's a little bit in this joint, but I just stuck the styrofoam in there and it's been propolized all the way along the outside edge. Not sure what prompted them to do that, but get over to this other hive and there's no propolis at all down there. That's the size of the hive, and they had so many extra bees that they had extra workforce to do that work, or what? Come through here. Here's this gap again. Still about a 1/16 of an inch, but again, it'll get bigger as time goes by here. It's another example of this box here really needs to be glued. I screwed everything together, but it needs to be glued, probably even wood filled, so that the moisture can't get in here and rot these fingers. I've got enough extra boxes. I'm going to pull one hive at a time of boxes out of service and then wood glue everything.
bees get a little agitated. I notice that the oxalic acid also irritates the small hive beetles. You can see them coming out. It's been a few minutes since I blocked the entrance for the oxalic acid treatment. But a fair amount of bees out here. Go ahead and close the entrance. The bee on the left of the entrance has oxalic acid vapors on it. See if the white stuff. Starting to fan the oxalic acid vapor out of the hive.